My name's Scott. I'm the president of 403 Tech. We're a managed IT services company. We service our clients in and around Calgary, and we've been in business for about 10 years now. I like managed IT services because it's a way to support our client base. We can really excel and take full ownership of all of the IT responsibilities that our clients expect of us. So before Arsenal, we pretty much tried everything. Started off with referrals, which I think most companies like to start off with. It's cheap and it's easy. We dabbled in Facebook ads. We did a little bit of Google ads. We also did some mail out flyers, the old school way.
So how'd you hear about us?
Oh man, how did I hear about you guys? I think Nate called me, took the call. He scheduled a follow-up call with Aaron. Aaron sort of explained to me how you guys work. You're a young, growing team, just like ourselves, so I wanted to support that. There wasn't a lot of pressure. And yeah, here we are. I was really interested because you guys focused, your niche was MSPs. Working with a company like Arsenal, where they know MSPs, they know the technology, they can really relate on the phone with the clients. We worked with some other companies in the past and they didn't really have the same level of experience, and clients can really tell. Yeah, so I started with Arsenal in October of 2020. So we've made about 7,500 in monthly recurring revenue for the past 18 months that we've been working with Arsenal. There was a 30-day process where my rep, Nate, met with me. I shared him different pamphlets and our website. We went through our service offerings so that he could really know about our business and sort of be an extension of us, so that when a client call came up, he could just explain to that client what we do and answer any sort of quick questions. And if it's something more technical, then refer that to myself. The initial call list, I think what we wanted to target was the Calgary market. So 403, that's our area code. We wanted to focus on the downtown area code, and then our client base will be much closer to us. And I think that's very helpful when our clients want that quicker response time. Working with any vendor, it's going to take time to establish what it is that we do. Yes, we're an MSP, but I think what really sets us apart is what's going to make us different, right? And that was the thing that I wanted to drive home with our rep, is what makes us different, because companies get MSP calls all the time, and we want to stand out. The operation management team, I think it's fantastic. Right now, I'm working with Tommy. The operations team's always there to help. If there's any questions, usually I'll just message my rep over Microsoft Teams or send an email, and we'll always have a monthly call, which is very important. That's where we can explain how the month went. We can go through the calls together, as well as we give our feedback, right? So I think feedback's important because it allows you guys to grow and figure out where you need to excel and what things we need to change for the next month. Usually I want to build the rapport with my rep. But if anything comes up, if there's any disagreements or if there's any questions, then I'll reach out. So I would say the value that you guys bring for the implementation is probably equivalent to 50% to one month's worth of service. So, because there's the setup process and all the time, and your time is worth something, right? We're in business together. We don't want to waste each other's time. And I think it's very important that the rep, as well as Arsenal, know who we are, know what we do, and what sets us apart. And we want to use that first 30 days to build rapport and to understand each other, so that we're, kicking off things and we're on a good page. So one of the things we had to work with on my rep is sometimes how we talk. I know some of our lingo and stuff like that's a little bit different, but also learning the city itself, right? So landmarks, for example, right? So if you're going to call into a client and they're going to say, "Where's your office?" and they say, "Oh, I'm near here," then we can relate and say, "Oh, yeah, we're 10-minute drive away," right? That way it seems a little bit more personal, and the client doesn't necessarily know where you're located. So our process, basically, our rep will call into a list, and whoever replies back to the list will usually set up a calendar appointment, and then I'll call that person on a particular time, And usually what we find best is our rep will call 24 hours prior to the appointment just to reconfirm the appointment, make sure that everything's good. And then once we do make that call, the call feels warm. It's like a warm touch instead of it being a complete cold call. So I know a little bit about their company. Hopefully they know a little bit about our company, and then we're just going to start the conversation. The reason that we want to work with a service like yours is hopefully we're not given cold leads. We're given some sort of a lead where there's already been a touch point made, an issue that they're having that we can potentially help them with, whether it's pricing, whether it's service quality or response time. And then we're going to go into that meeting having sort of an actionable response, and then we can ultimately close the deal and make the client's life that much better. The service that Arsenal's provided is sort of revitalizing cold calling. Because not a lot of people are doing cold calling, people aren't used to getting those calls. And I think in today's day and age, people are always looking to save money, and they're potentially looking to take a quick call to learn about different IT services. I think Arsenal's biggest strength is in your guys' follow-up. When it comes to sales, it's all about follow-up. If I call a client 2, 3, 4 times and I don't hear back, I'll typically expect that they're not interested. But sometimes we've had really good success after like the 8th, 9th call, and the client will just say, hey, I was busy, it wasn't a good time to call. Various of different reasons, but they're actually interested, and they're, until the rep says, or until the client says no, keep calling. In terms of what Arsenal can do better is sort of in the quality of the lead. So sometimes, the rep's excited to speak with someone, engage with that conversation. But what is really important for myself, and I think the client as well as business owners, is we don't want to waste each other's time. So if we can have information at our disposal prior to the meeting that gives us that little bit of ammunition, I think that would really set us up. Yeah, I would say Arsenal averages about 3 to 5 appointments per month right now, and we've been working together for about 18 months. It does. It does fluctuate. Our rep actually in the beginning of the year, we had something like 8 meetings in the month of January, which was really crazy for us. We've never had that many meetings, and also it's a new calendar year, so I think a lot of people were just interested in hearing us out and potentially changing their IT services. So you guys are really focused on the end client and getting results. Because we're actually engaging with clients, we're talking to them, we can really find out their pain points. And I think that really allows us to show our value. Whereas in the previous companies we worked with, it's usually on paid search or SEO or things like that. And it's really hard to justify and quantify the value that they bring. And it's typically a harder, pill to swallow. So our goals with Arsenal, obviously, we wanted to grow. We wanted to grow a team double in size within 2 years. That was our goal, and we're almost there. But yeah, basically to drive more business, to drive more leads. Ultimately, it's a numbers game. So there's going to be, getting in front of more business owners. There's always an opportunity to explain our services, and ultimately the goal is to get them to switch. Yes, I think the services are worth the money that we spend. If we had to hire our own sales guy, I think I would have to be spending more of my time away from the business, training that person up. And whereas with Arsenal, we can just find a rep that we feel comfortable with, and we can hit the ground running. Arsenal deals with all the training and the follow-up. You guys have all the tools and software behind the scenes, so it's really a one-stop shop. Yeah, I think it's a really cool process. So basically, when a rep wins a deal for us, it's win-win because they're bringing in business for us, and we're rewarding them with that check, and they're getting that check every single month. So that incentivizes them to stay and continue working hard for us. So I had an issue where a potential prospect of mine sort of went cold. I felt like I've exhausted all my options. I tried calling them, I tried emailing them. They just went dead. And I actually passed the lead off to my rep. They called back, and right away they got an appointment, and that deal actually closed within like 1 week. So I was very surprised. You guys are a young, vibrant community. The way that I explain Arsenal is that The value that you guys bring is sort of again, it's a one-stop shop. You're going to take care of everything in terms of the sales, the outreach, all the onboarding. There hasn't been a lot of training that we've really had to provide our rep with because you guys are doing that all internally. Yeah, so this is Jackson. He's my SDR. We've been working together for a little bit now, and yeah, happy to keep the relationship going. Yeah, right now, so the Arsenal process, it's pretty straightforward. Basically, I meet with my tech sort of once a month. We hash out how the previous month went, how the calls went. We give a 1 out of 10 rating scale to see how his performance was. He always asks for feedback. And yeah, any things that I want to share, it's always a good opportunity to open up, and it's just a heart to heart, right? Yeah. So the value of the appointments, obviously every appointment's going to be different. It comes down to things like if there's a clear budget, if there's a clear issue. These are things that are important to me to be able to set the number sort of higher. Those are the things that we're going to look for. And usually I'll set like a 1 to 10 for every single appointment, and then we'll go through at the end of the month to review what those appointments look like, how we could have done them differently, different verbiage that we could use, things like that. No, I think Jackson's a team member. He's just thousands of kilometers away. We're up in Canada. He's down here in St. Louis. So, I mean, he's got an email address. He's part of 403 Tech. We chat every week, and we do a monthly call every month to do follow-ups. So every time there's a closed appointment, he'll send me a quick message on Teams and say, "Hey," and I'm happy, he's happy, so win-win. With Arsenal, you guys have your own internal training processes, and you can really hit the ground running. And the person becomes an extension of our team, and I don't really have to do all the hand holding. I just expect that calls are being handled, and ultimately I'm getting the leads and appointments that I'm looking for. Yeah, ultimately I continue to keep using Arsenal. I'm hoping obviously for leads to keep coming in. Our ambitions are we want to keep growing and stuff like that. So I think with having Arsenal by our side, it's gonna help us get there quicker. Biggest thing with closing a deal, I find, is the follow up. Um, if Jackson really touches base with clients many times, I actually had one client in particular, and he was like, "The reason I'm taking this call is you're so persistent." He was like, you know, "I'm busy, and you called 3 4 times, and I was able to have a meeting with him." So I think that's awesome. So obviously, when you get into business and when you look at different vendors, the main thing you want to do is do your homework, right? So look at the competition, look and see what else is out there, and really you'll understand that Arsenal is it's a different group of guys, a different group of people doing things, and I think that different approach is really what sets you guys apart.
Anything else you'd like to say / mention?
No, I appreciate the opportunity to come down here and meet the team. I think this is a unique opportunity where you don't usually get this at other companies. You're just a number, right? So, you guys are up to 100 different MSPs now. So, coming down here, meeting the team, networking with the other MSPs that are here from Canada, which is pretty cool. So,